What's up guys, it's your girl BL here, and that stands for Britt Lyons. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Honestly, that doesn't sound as good as Natalia Taylor's intro, so I'll just leave that to her. As you guys can see by the title, today we're going to be recreating Natalia Taylor's Instagram, but with a twist. I want to take her modeling tips and apply them to this Instagram recreation because after all, she is an expert on modeling. I kind of feel like that sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't meant to be. Natalia is genuinely such a talented individual, so I wanted to try my hand at taking her tips and tricks that she suggested personally for modeling and apply them to try to recreate her own Instagram photos. In Natalia's video, How to Pose for Photos, she taught us wannabe Instagram models the acronym WILFs. A lot like MILFs, but with a W, so really nothing like MILFs at all, actually. If you saw that video, you know that WILFs stands for Wardrobe, Integration, Lines, Fun, and Shape. So without further ado, let's jump in and try out this acronym with this photo recreation. Starting off with wardrobe, we have this lovely photo of Natalia laying down in the grass. I chose this photo to compare with wardrobe because number one, I think I have the closest matching outfit to Natalia's with this particular photo, and number two, I think that the location actually matches her outfit very well. It literally looks like she was having a picnic in the grass and just asked one of her friends to take a photo of her. This is actually one of, if not the hardest photo to take because the sun was in my eyes the entire time. But if you know Natalia, you know that she'll do anything, and I mean anything, to get the shot.
This is gonna like, yeah, let's let that. Alright, yeah. Alright.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Professional.
And I feel like we did just that. For these shots, I actually had to have Matt tell me when he was ready so that I could open my eyes and not have to just sit there and stare at the sun. Also, while editing this photo, I realized that for whatever reason, we took the photo upside down, so I actually had to flip it in editing. This photo definitely took the longest to take out of all of them because I kept closing my eyes because the sun was burning into my corneas. I actually think I might slightly be blind after that whole photo shoot. So let's move on to my reaction of the comparison between the two photos. So the only thing that I would actually really change in this photo is that my hair should have been straightened and actually over my shoulders. However, I think I actually had to curl it for one of the photos that we took, so it was kind of like pick your poison type of thing. Luckily, I feel like you can't really tell that my hair isn't straight, but it's also not over my shoulders, so I'm kind of missing that element of the picture. Also, her hands are kind of like, she has her one hand like this, like across her stomach almost, and then the other hand is also like kind of pinched at the fingertips as well. So I really should have done that, and I wish I was doing that in mine, but otherwise I think I'd give it a 9 out of 10 because I feel like we kind of captured most of the essence of the photo. I think I did pretty good considering I was going blind as well, so let's move on to integration. So the photo I chose to represent integration is this photo of Natalia sitting on the bench. The caption that she chose for this photo literally says that these ladies were actually judging her for the outfit that she chose, so I feel like in her pose that she's like kind of covering her stomach and the fact that she's like sitting on a bench, it's kind of like perfect for integration because she's definitely interacting with what's going on around her, at least in my opinion. The funny thing too is that during mine, I actually had a couple like judging me from afar as well, so I almost feel like we went through this situation together. This was the fastest one we did because as you can see in the footage, I was obviously really uncomfortable, so we just wanted to get this like done as quickly as possible, and I could tell Matt was a little bit uncomfortable because I literally only had like a little bralette on, and that's definitely not something that I would personally wear out and about. So let's get on into the comparison for this photo. Oh yeah, this is definitely my least favorite. I did what I could with what I had, but it's hard to find a tree and a bench that lined up in the exact same way as Natalia's photo, so the backdrop didn't really match all that well. I also am noticing that I really should have relaxed my body a bit more and like leaned a little bit more into the side where the tree was. Also, I'm noticing that my hand isn't like completely straight on my face like Natalia's is. I'm just nitpicking now, but honestly I'd give this like a 6 out of 10. Again, it definitely is my least favorite. So with that being said, let's move on to lines. I feel like this photo of Natalia laying on the beach definitely showcased Lyons very well. Her body is literally perfectly parallel to the horizon, which makes this photo look perfectly straight. I honestly thought that this photo was going to be the hardest to recreate because it's the most intense model pose that she kind of has on her Instagram, and I actually honestly feel like I did pretty well considering I am not, nor was I ever, a professional model. So let's see how I did. I just wish my head was a little bit straighter for this one, and I think my arm also should have been down a little bit more to actually showcase that I was balancing on my head, my arm, and my butt, because in that photo you can definitely see that Natalia is balancing with only her head, her one elbow, and her butt. So I think I could have done a little bit better of a job showing that. So I feel like I kind of failed on those 2 points right there. Also, I do live in New York, so we don't have beautiful beaches like LA does, unfortunately, so this was the best location that I could do with what I had, which I think kind of throws off the comparison a little bit, but I honestly think overall that I would give myself an 8 out of 10. In that video where she's actually doing that pose, she's teaching one of her friends how to model, actually 2 of her friends how to model, and they both had to do that pose and it was really hard for them. So I honestly feel like I should give myself a pat on the back because though it was a difficult pose, it wasn't really that difficult for me. I don't know. Like, it was painful, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it could have been more painful. Maybe it's because I didn't have my head completely straight. The next letter of WILFs is F, which stands for fun. I am a big believer in having fun in photo shoots because modeling really should be fun and exciting and also silly from time to time. I think it's so important to not take everything so seriously in life, and this photo of Natalia cutting grass in her pajamas literally screams hilarity. And it shows off her personality very well. This was my favorite photo to actually go and take by far because it was so funny to me to go in my pajamas into my front yard and pretend to cut the grass with scissors. I'm sure the people driving by had a lot of questions when they saw Matt taking these photos of me, for sure. So let's see how we did. Alright, so I wish I had some more trees in my front yard just for shade purposes because I feel like my photo is definitely a little bit sunnier than hers. And unfortunately, I also don't have really cool leopard PJs, but I did my best with what I had. I think I'd give this one a 6 out of 10 for effort because it's definitely not my favorite. It was my favorite one to take, but not my favorite recreation. I will say, I think I did accomplish the fun part of WILFs, so there's that. That's probably all that matters in terms of that, you know? Like, I feel like that's kind of the point, so that's why I'm giving myself over a 5. So the last letter of the acronym WILFs is shapes. So I wasn't sure which route I wanted to go with this specific category of shapes, but then I stumbled across this gem and I was like, my body is a shape. It's a weird shape, but it's a shape. So I chose to recreate this supernatural, barely edited photo of Natalia. For the actual photo, I just kind of stood by some bushes to get the same effect, and then I got to editing. So let's see how close we got. Damn! Is that an alien from Area 51? So I definitely feel like I nailed this one with the editing. Of course it's not super exact because, well, I don't share the exact same body as Natalia, so it would have been impossible to actually get it completely exact. But with what I'm working with, I think it went pretty well. I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. It's definitely my favorite and also the funniest photo of me that I think I've ever seen in my life. Alright, you guys, so that is gonna be it for today's video. I think that I definitely accomplished WILFs and I definitely challenge you guys to try this out. If you guys haven't seen the video of Natalia's that I'm actually talking about, I'm gonna link that one down below, as well as the one where she teaches her friends to be like models as well, so that you guys can watch those. Thank you so much to Natalia for this wonderful inspiration for this actual video because I couldn't have done it without you and your amazing modeling tips, so thanks for that. I am definitely a big fan of Instagram, as you guys can probably tell just by being on my channel for at least 2 seconds. So let me know in the comments what Instagram accounts are your favorite because I'm always looking for new people to follow. So that is going to be it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys aren't already, make sure you hit subscribe to become a member of the Lyons Den because I would love to have you. My social media will be listed down below in the description, so make sure to check it out and follow it so you can hang out with me in between uploads. And I hope you guys are doing very well and having a great week, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!